Hooah!
Hooah.
Hooah!
Your mother was a hooah.
Oh.
That's not good to say.
No.
You can't say your mother was a whore.
No, you can't say that.
Although people seem to like it in... the use of the word whore has sort of... Because I remember really enjoying it when Norm Macdonald would say it, especially in Dirty Work, the movie Dirty Work. The line, nose bitten off by a Saigon whore is, it still resonates in my memory today.
I think Norm has been canceled, though. Norm is, hasn't he been canceled?
Has he been canceled? I mean, he's always been pretty right-wing.
I think he got a soft cancel.
Yeah. For what? What did he do?
Well, he was maybe the first to be canceled for being removed from SNL for, according to Lorne, not being funny, but everyone was probably doing... He probably think got canceled for just, sexist jokes.
No, it wasn't sexist jokes. It was OJ jokes that
OJ.
got Norm Macdonald. Yeah, because I believe one of the NBC people at the time was friends with OJ.
Oh, so I guess the sexist jokes were fine.
The sexist jokes? No, he wasn't... That may have been why he was shit canned, but I don't think Norm Macdonald has ever received a cancellation.
Right. Yeah, well, the OJ is, that is what got him canceled. The NBC head was like, I'm friends with OJ. Yeah, but he should have gotten canned for the sexist jokes. He has a famous one with, where the joke doesn't land. It's a sexist joke, and he's like, oh, well, a woman wrote that joke. Now you don't know what to do.
Yeah, and then he tops it off by saying, nah, just kidding, we don't hire women.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Norm Macdonald has always sort of he doesn't really let politics enter into his comedy. Like every time he's made a political statement, he's shown his hand as being fairly right wing. But I don't know. I just think you don't have to be left wing to be a good comedian.
I think he's probably a radical centrist.
I would say he's more of like a status quo, old-timey sort of like center-right guy, maybe. Like every time he has been pressed on a political issue, I think he's anti-abortion or something like that. Some weird shit like that. I don't want to... I shouldn't say that. I don't know if Norm Macdonald is anti-abortion.
I did like his joke about COVID where he's like, well, now we all know how we're gonna die. We just don't know what order.
Yeah. But yeah, the use of the word whore, and Norm Macdonald would always hit those whores. He loved that word. He loves that word, and because it's a funny word. But you can't say that. It's very politically incorrect to say any sort of... You can't even say prostitute anymore. It's sex worker, sex worker, sex worker.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sex worker.
Sex whore. Sex horker. Yeah, can't say ho, no mo. Well, I can't say ho because that is also an appropriation of AAVE.
John McSexworker.
John McSexworker?
Yeah. John McWhorter.
John McWhorter.
John McSexworker.
John McSexworker.
He's like...
I'm the most organized pimp in the game. I'm a big corporate pimp.
He's kind of like an Adolf Reed type, I think, John McWhorter. Or is he more... He's probably more right-wing on economics than Adolf Reed.
What's John McWhorter's deal?
He is, like... he wrote, like, the biggest thing against the 1619 Project.
Wait, what's the 1619 Project?
That's Nicole Hannah-Jones' effort to... recast the Founding Fathers as founding America with the purpose of continuing slavery as opposed to any other Enlightenment ideals. It's not really true. It's more like they were evading taxes.
I don't know enough about history.
It's more like they were just trying to evade taxes than like...
Yeah, everyone was slave owners at the time.
Yeah, they weren't trying to make a slave empire.
It wasn't specifically designed, like, in as much as Britain was trying to make a slave empire and all the colonial powers were trying to make slave empires. At the beginning of America...
nobody was looking good. Nobody's looking good back then.
No. When did abolition happen in England? It happened after 1776, right?
No.
When did William Wilberforce?
No.
Did it happen before?
Yes, I think.
Okay. It's pretty bad.
I mean, yeah, the English did not go on to then be morally upstanding. Generally,
no, they did not. It's not. They didn't really. They didn't really get rid of slavery. They got rid of it in name only, and their subsequent rape of Africa and India.
Oh, okay, I was wrong. No, I was wrong. Slavery abolition in England was 1833.
Yeah, so, they hadn't even gotten over it. Everyone was... It was an entire slave economy. All white countries were.
They went on to purposefully get China addicted to opium.
Yes.
So, that's cool.
Do you think pound for pound, England has caused more mayhem than America?
Yeah. My dad referred to it as perfidious Albion.
That's great. Perfidious Albion spreading its dainty tentacles all throughout the world.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Jewish conspiracy. Why is there not a British conspiracy? Everything that comes from that island is fucking poison. Like the fucking Beatles.
Yep,
or
Beatles,
Mike Lee movies.
Beatles are
I like
poison.
Mike Lee and the Beatles.
No. The Beatles were, like Jackson Pollock, the Beatles are firmly CIA.
You're right.
Yeah.
The Beatles were a big psyop to make everyone hyper-normalized and complacent.
Yeah, make everyone into individuals. Before the Beatles, where people just listened to music that made them feel like a collective.
See, what we need you to do is water down black music for children. And they'll think you made it all up. Oh, that sounds just grand.
That's not... They didn't do... Did they do? I guess they...
Well, I would say that the biggest evident... Okay, no, that's not true. The biggest influences on the Beatles were the Everly Brothers for those tight harmonies. I mean, you could say the Everly Brothers were influenced by black music, but I don't think so, because the Everly Brothers sound pretty fucking white. Yeah. And I don't think that shit comes from, necessarily a strict African-American tradition. But the other people they were influenced by was Little Richard and Chuck Berry, primarily. But Chuck Berry is also a mystery because Chuck Berry, his style was him trying to sound white. And Chuck Berry is directly quoted on that. He was like, I was trying to sound like these white boys,
What? Inception.
It's a weird thing. But then it all just coalesced with rock music, which was
invented by Black Sabbath.
Invented. Truly, it achieved its peak in 1970 with the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath on the album Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's going on that's going on to Nick Cannon.
That is the canonical history of black people is called the Nick Cannon.
Oh, that's racist. You're being racist.
It's extremely racist.
You cancel.
R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah, get your colonoscopies.
Get your colonoscopies.
I was noticing that colon cancer is increasing in young people.
Interesting.
And I'm
it's all the
wondering-
vape. The vapes are
I
too
think
many.
it's
Too many anal vapes.
I think it's the phones.
The phones are giving us colon cancer.
Yeah, the phones are giving us because they're keeping it in our pockets, and it's right by our colons. And I think it's the phones
causing rapid cell division, thus increasing the likelihood of cancer cells.
Well, in my last colonoscopy, they found a polyp, which means the cancer will be growing inside of me.
It's 5G. Russia killed Chadwick Boseman with 5G.
Well, I mean, yeah, Russia's not developing 5G. It's not.
Well, who is developing 5G?
China.
Is Bill Gates developing?
No,
China, right.
Russia's not developing anything except for, how to theatrically do propaganda. That's what they're...
Hypernormalization. Vladislav Surkov.
Yeah.
We will stage riot.
Let us make opposition party. Let us make anti-opposition party. Let us have them fight.
But that was the take that you were saying is going to be cropping up in a new few days. These violent riots are a Russian psyop.
Yep. I'm gonna. I
think that's very prescient of you.
I think definitely if Biden loses, the mainstream Democrats are going to be like, all of the violence was just incited by Facebook groups from the Russians. And people are going to be like, whoa, maybe that's true. Let's investigate for another 4 years.
I like the idea of a bunch of Russian trolls reading a lot of Angela Davis in order to get versed in the language of her.
Yeah.
They're like, I am reading book White Fragility, but it's written by white woman. Find inauthentic. Instead going to source. Reading autobiography of Malcolm X.
Nice.
You know, this Islam does not sound so bad. Nah, a Russian wouldn't say that.
Some Russians
I am
probably
pigeonholing all Russians. They're all trolls. They're all gopniks. They're all GOP-niks. They're bad Russians.
What is a gop? What is that? Gopnik.
A gopnik is the Russian equivalent to white trash. In England, they call him a chav.
Yes. Well, English people.
Yeah. Chavs, that phenomena has spread out in the world. Think about all the Cadbury chocolates that contain little pieces of adrenochrome to get you hooked. It's been England this whole time. It's been the royals. It's been David Icke. It's been the lizard people. David Icke was correct.
Yeah. I think Phantom Thread really has a geopolitical message, and that is the English have been secretly poisoning the world for years, just so that they can then come in and take care of us.
Exactly. Well, that's that's secretly the Bill Gates strategy, right? It's the iceberg slim Bill Gates strategy, because Bill Gates, with philanthrocapitalism, the idea is you invest money in Rio Tinto to offset the damage done by Rio Tinto, right?
Did you see that Nestle is investing in peanut allergy medicine?
Now that's vertical integration.
What the?
That's amazing.
Frick?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they're gonna just.
I can enjoy Snickers if I have my EpiPen.
We'll just put it right in the Snickers.
But that is the free market. Since EpiPens became so expensive in America, Nestle has room to develop a cheaper alternative that you sell with the Snickers bar.
I was looking at an article on marginallyproductive.com. I have no idea if it's a good website, but it has a good article title about how we're all living in America culturally. There's cultural dominance, and it's in reference to specifically Adele doing the cultural appropriative hairdo recently.
Wait, did she do Bantu knots or something? Did
Yes.
Adele do Bantu knots?
Yes, I don't know what that...
Pissed off?
People are pissed, but I don't know why they're pissed.
Is it a traditionally African and African-American hairstyle?
Well, she's not American, so... I guess that's bad. No one is talking about how much weight she's lost. She's looking great.
But that's the problem. The sell of Adele was that she was overweight. She was a fine, curvy lady.
Do you think people would be less pissed if she hadn't lost the weight?
Look, hey, Horatio Sands didn't have a career after he lost all that weight.
Oh man,
he's got Tina Fey giving him roles here and there, but
her voice.
Once you've established your fat cred, you can't go back on it.
Her voice was stored in her adipose tissue, and now it's gone.
Yeah, you're right. It was real fat voice. Without her fat voice, she's just going to sound like Lana Del Rey.
Your voice sounds different. It sounds skinny.
I don't know. It's not deep enough. There's not enough resonance. I don't know. I would love it if it was entirely her fat that made her voice good. Yeah. I think that would be great. This is extremely fat-phobic. People get mad at us for being fat-phobic.
Oh, hey, no, it takes
but I
all
feel
kinds.
we're not fat-phobic. We're pro-fat. We're
anti-skinny. All kinds. And you know what? In solidarity, I bought some ice cream sandwiches. So
there you go.
Can't cancel me for that.
I'm a fat man. I'm comfortable saying the problem with me is it's like I'm always in between two worlds. Like I'm bisexual, but I'm straight passing, so it's like I don't get to say fag in front of the people who are faggier than me.
Ooh, what? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Oh.
It's absolutely how it works. If I could walk through Jamaica at night without it being a problem, then I absolutely have straight passing privilege.
Is that a Canadian neighborhood?
No, I'm thinking the country Jamaica.
Oh, the country Jamaica.
Yeah, which is notoriously homophobic. But even
that's racist.
You can still get gay bashed in Canada if you look femmy.
Probably in Alberta.
If you look twinky. I had a friend that was gay bashed in Vancouver. Like not that long ago. And they are a slightly twinkier person. They would they clock as gay from the outside. So it's absolutely privilege. Being straight passing is absolutely you're less likely to get fucked with by random weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, random weirdos are. I haven't seen many. I haven't had an interaction with any random weirdos in a long time, mainly because I only go to one grocery store and immediately run home.
Oh, man. Well, my entire day is filled with random weirdos because I go to a dog park, which is heavily bordered by a lot of shelters and halfway homes.
Yeah, you should bring a gun to that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah, bring a gun.
No, I could never own a gun. Do you know how quickly I'd kill myself if I had a fucking gun?
That's why I don't own a gun too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd love to own a fucking gun. Are you talking to me? Are you kidding me? Target practice looks like fun.
It's boring.
I can yeah.
It's boring.
I can pretend I defend myself. I can pretend that if they come for me in the night, I'll give them a fight.
Yeah, if they come for me, I'll try to fuck them. I'm just gonna try to have sex with them.
The only thing I would do with a gun is put it in my mouth as soon as I got a minor inconvenience. And it was like, it'd be really easy to kill myself right now instead of having to deal with this.
You wouldn't try to kill yourself by putting it up your butt, shooting your butt?
I feel no, that's not a death sentence. That's a trip to the hospital.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Canada's free. I guess it depends on the angle, but that feels like you just bleed out and all your stomach acid would fall out. It'd be a horrible death.
Yeah, that's how I've always envisioned killing myself: is gun up the butt. It's the fastest way to die.
Man, it's like that scene in Spring Breakers when James Franco's blowing the gun, but instead this would be him having unlubricated anal sex with a 9mm pistol. Fuck it, 9mm pistol. Full on
nice.
AK-47.
Ooh.
Full on getting James Franco, alien from Spring Breakers, getting anally penetrated by an AK-47. Keeps saying, "Look at my shit, look at my shit." Because, he didn't douche before, so his shit's all over the muzzle of the gun.
You got to prep?
Yeah. No, prep is the thing you do if you don't want to get HIV.
Oh, what is... I guess, well...
Prep is a specific medication.
Is it a medication?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. It's really changed the game.
It tastes great.
Yeah, it tastes fantastic. But yeah, cannot recommend prep highly enough. If you're hooking up online, always take your prep.
Online?
You don't know who's lying or not.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's not... No, that's very bad. I am not that HIV people will usually... always disclose, and they're very good about it, and it's good. It's very controversial.
Wait, can you
get
canceled for suggesting that HIV people might not be totally honest about their status?
No, well, the problem is it's a persistent... It's not that you'll get canceled, but it's a very small minority of HIV-positive people that won't disclose, and that reputation still gets bandied about to the the 99% of HIV people who are who do their due diligence.
Their due diligence.
But the thing is, it's like there's a question as to whether even disclosing is necessary, because as tons of research has proven over the years, U equals U, where what does that stand for? Undetectable equals uninfectable. So basically, over the years, many studies, if you have a very low viral load count, if such that it is undetectable, you can basically have unprotected sex, especially oral, and be okay.
Huh.
There's still a risk, but it's almost zero.
So it's all about the size of the load.
It's all about the size of the load.
Okay.
And, I know. Every time I heard the phrase viral load, I tittered like a schoolgirl. But that's what they called it.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds like a glob of jizz with viruses in it.
Which is what it is.
Yes. But we all have viruses in our jizz. These ones just happened to cause quite a scare in the 80s.
My jizz has the virus known as brain worms. I pass it down genetically. It's genetically inherited to any progeny I might have. I give them brain worms.
Yeah.
Where the worms eat away at your brain and you can't figure out what to do in your life and everything. You don't like anything. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to do anything.
Whoa! That's, they got a name for that. It's called major depressive disorder.
No. What are you calling me? What are you fucking calling me? What are you fucking
I'm calling
saying?
you a fucking fag?
What are you fucking...
Bro, you're a fag.
I didn't say it.
I can say
you can say it because I
can say
because
it, but only in front of you.
Only in front of me, because in this instance, I am less gay than you.
Yeah. Okay. If a gay person who is gayer than me gets mad at this, I will have to retract it.
Well, what if I performatively do something gayer than you? Then you would have to retract it.
Yeah, it can't be performative. You got to enjoy it. I have to look in your eyes and know that you're enjoying it. I've said that to many of my straight friends. Look, you can say fag, suck a dick once and enjoy it. That's the second part. They can never do the second part.
Well,
it's always just...
I suck my own dick, and I enjoyed that.
No, you don't. No one enjoys sucking their own dick. It's horrible. It's just like...
Yeah, it hurts.
It's the worst. It's all teeth.
It hurt
you
my
can't
back.
help it.
Hurt my back. Yeah. Oh, man, it hurts.
Yeah. As someone who has tried many times to suck my own dick and actually succeeded due to unusual flexibility.
Nice.
It's terrible every time. Get someone else to suck your dick.
What's that movie that starts off with the dick sucking, the self-suck scene?
Short Bus.
Short Bus. Yeah.
That movie fucking sucks.
Oh.
That movie self-sucks.
Oh.
No, Short Bus is okay, but John Cameron Mitchell, like, his legendary movie is Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Right.
And then the follow-up with Short Bus, which is, pretty revolutionary in that it had a lot of unsimulated sex scenes, but the problem is all the characters are really fucking annoying. You want to punch them all in the face. And
well, that's an artistic choice.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, another movie like that where it's, like, revolutionary, or, like, Reality Bites. You ever seen Reality Bites?
I have.
Yeah. And how it's, like, you want to punch all the characters in the fucking face.
Not Winona Ryder. Never Winona Ryder. Isn't she in that?
She is in that.
No, I never want to punch her in the face.
She's very manipulative to Ben Stiller.
I want to punch him in the... I wanted to punch anyone who mistreats Winona Ryder in the face. I want to punch...
Ethan Hawke mistreats Winona Ryder.
I want to punch Saks Fifth Avenue in the face.
You're right. We should... Why did she... Man, remember when that was a celebrity scandal?
Yeah.
Remember when everyone was like, Winona, she steals, she doesn't... She has all the money. Why does she even need it? And then, years later, it's rape. She was
raping too.
Hollywood runs on rape.
Yeah, and it turns out she was raping left and right.
Yeah, she's raping all over the place.
But that's what she got. She got canceled for stealing. Typical.
We didn't acknowledge it. She was the original Weinstein. Winona Weinstein. Weinstein Ryder. Oh my god. But yeah, I feel like so the QAnon belief that Hollywood is like a pedophile ring, it's not that far off from reality. It's not.
Doing Marge?
A lot of these things they say aren't stretches. Homer. Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
I'm fucking blowing Joe Biden every day. I gotta keep him taut. We only get 3 more adrenochrome shots until he turns into a zombie from Dawn of the Dead. This is my canonical Kamala Harris impression. She doesn't sound anything like this.
No.
But people have said she sounds like Marge Simpson.
She doesn't. Not at all.
No, not at all. Absolutely not at all. But this will be my Kamala Harris impression.
I wish I could do...
Oh, God, I'm working a lot. Oh, boy. This whole weekend at being Joe Biden's puppeteer was a bad life decision. This will impact my career negatively.
Oh, man. Well, Joe Biden, apparently, he didn't... You told me he was never going to say that the rioting and the looting was bad, but now here we are, and he's done it.
Yes. Well, I thought he was going to... I thought he wasn't going to say it. Well, no, what you said was that Kamala was going to say it.
Yeah, I thought Kamala
would say it. And I thought that would be a bad move because she's already got, turncoat stuff on her, so she shouldn't be able to handle that stink. But Biden saying it makes a lot more sense because he's an old white man, so they expect it out of him anyway.
Yeah, I guess. I kind of figured Kamala would say it and then Biden would, walk it back, so they would do good cop, bad cop.
I feel like Kamala's the walkbacker.
Okay.
She's the one who reigns in Joe. She's Joe's handler. She's Joe's Ivanka, if you will.
It'd be funny. It's funny if they do a good cop, bad cop, because then people would be like, but they're still both cops.
That would be funny. Now I'm going to give this here Donald Trump a piece of my mind. Now, Joe, I think you need to settle down a little. I'm sorry, Kamala. I shouldn't have said that. Joe's, he's lifting up his sleeves to reveal the fact that he has a cigarette pack underneath his arm.
So cool.
He's slicking back his hair, greaser style.
He should smoke.
If
Biden, instead of doing for the debates, Biden pulled out a pack of cigarettes and just started smoking, and it's just like, said a swear word, like, fuck it, man.
Fuck it. Come on, man. I'm 82. I don't give a shit. Yeah, he goes full Bulworth. Starts doing rap lyrics.
Oh, man. Doing East Coast rap from the 90s.
Yeah. Now, this is a song by the Wu-Tang Clan called The Mystery of Chess Boxing. Raw, I'm gonna give it to you. No trivia. Come on. Like cocaine straight from Bolivia, okay?
You know who I've been listening to? Jeru the Damager.
Jeru the Damager?
Yeah, Damager.
Who's that?
Damaja.
Is this a rappist?
Yes, a good East Coast rap from the 90s. It's really good. I think his most famous song is Da Bitches.
Da Bitches?
Yeah, Da Bitches, Da Bitches.
Da Bitches. Jeru the Damager.
It's good stuff.
I feel I've heard of this. Was he part of any group?
I don't know. I don't know much about him. I saw a recommendation a while ago on Twitter because I think he fell on hard times recently, and people were doing a GoFundMe for him. He worked with MC Guru, who did a cool
Guru, who
hip hop jazz
recently.
Crossover. He also worked with Gangstar. But
he was Gangstar.
Was he Gangstar? He wasn't.
Was he part of Gangstar, or was he just heavily featured on Gangstar?
He just worked with Gangstar.
Okay.
But get the album The Sun Rises in the East. It's from 1994. It's really cool. It's got really cool beats, like dissonant piano stuff that's really cool. Kind of like the Neptunes, but cool. Cooler.
That shit's always in vogue in hip hop. It always comes back to sort of like dissonant, out of tune pianos. That's people started praising Tyler the Creator because his new sound was dissonant, out of tune pianos. It's like, no, it's all just back to 90s hip hop.
Yeah.
Return to the 90s.
Yeah, we should return to the 90s, I was listening to Soundgarden on the way back from upstate New York.
Chris Cornell died, which made Chester Bennington die.
I know. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about how the reason Chester Bennington killed himself was because no one cared that Chris Cornell died.
And man, my music really sucks compared to his. What are people going to think of me?
Yeah. I don't want to live in this world where no one likes
crawling in my neck. Okay, no, we're sad. R.I.P. Chester. I actually do stand Linkin Park a little.
Sure.
For what they are.
Yeah, they were,
We've talked on this show before how much we appreciate the work of Linkin Park.
They were.
So we have earned the right to make hanging jokes about Chester Bennington.
I mean, come on. Who could have called it,
Yeah.
Who could have called it?
These lyrics these lyrics don't portray any sort of negative emotion at all.
Man, it really came out of left field.
Yeah.
With Chester being sad. He was molested.
All of them were. Jonathan Davis was molested. That's 70% of his lyrics. Jonathan Davis is not out there killing himself.
Eddie Vedder was never molested. He did probably was doing.
Eddie Vedder was the molester. Eddie molester. And Jeremy spoken yesterday, 'cause I touched him on his balls. I remember touching on the boy. I made him eat the Reese's latest breast. That's Eddie Vedder is the worst. No, he's not the fucking. I actually do like Eddie Vedder. I like his bit in Twin Peaks.
How would you rank Pearl Jam in the top 4 Grungy?
Okay, so we're talking about Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, and who's the other?
Alice in Chains.
Oh, Alice in Chains. I would actually, controversially, I would say Soundgarden is number 1 for me. I enjoy Super Unknown and more than any other grunge album, probably. I would say Nirvana's 2nd, Chains is 3rd, and Pearl Jam is dead last.
Yeah, I'm almost the same, except I switch Nirvana and Alice in Chains. I like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam.
I do like Alice in Chains.
Pearl Jam's a sloppy. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Alice in Chains had maybe one more. They didn't really though. Nirvana has more quantity of better albums than Alice in Chains. So they technically should be above them. So yeah,
if I were to compare Pearl Jam to anybody, it would be the Grateful Dead or the Tragically Hip, in that they sort of have shapeless riffs, what I would describe as shapeless riffs, where they sort of are so generic that you don't notice their riffs.
Yeah.
And that was always a problem for them. I do not think the guitar work of Stone Gossard and Mike McCready is the most memorable or competent. No. Meanwhile, Kurt Cobain can play like 6 fucking chords, and he makes incredibly, ridiculously memorable riffs because he just has that ear for catchy melody that some people have.
Yeah.
And you know, it's hard to work at that. Some people just have that, like that fucking Max Martin guy.
Oh man, let's look up Max Martin. What has he done lately?
Yeah.
What has he done lately?
Who's he producing?
I wonder if he's
Probably
retired
T
yet.
Swift. Is he doing more T Swift?
I don't know.
Although T Swift's last album was entirely written by her.
Really?
Folklore.
Was it entirely? Was it really entirely?
Probably not. It was probably not entirely written by her.
The last thing Max Martin did was "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd. The last big thing he did.
That's funny. I don't know what that song sounds like at all.
Let's see. He wrote almost. He did "Thank You Next" by Ariana Grande.
Ooh, I like that song. I think that song's really good.
I think he did the whole album.
Thank You Next.
Did you see Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga doing some award show?
What were they doing? Were they fucking? Were they fucking at the award show? I only care about it if they were fucking.
They were just wearing masks and like being on stripper poles.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
But they weren't stripping off their, like they were rubbing their pussies together, but they weren't taking off their masks.
Yeah, it was featured on the New York Times, of course, because the New York Times that's what they do now.
New York Times is a big, important institution. Got to document the Gaga Grande pussy rubs.
Yeah, I hope. It's MTV Video Music Awards.
Ooh, the VMAs.
Yeah.
The classic things.
Well, hopefully Biden wins and the New York Times goes broke.
Put the nail in that coffin.
Yeah, I fucking hate the New York
Times.
Times.
I told you about I recently had a revelation about why there is a crisis in expertise.
Because we're in an epistemological crisis.
Yes, an epistemological crisis. And I had this revelation when I heard the term pencil neck. And I realized that all of these environmental people, all these Antifa people, they're not respected because they have very tiny necks. And I think that people respond to authority. You'll even see, like, leftists, get intimidated by cops. You know why?
Thick necks.
Larger than average necks.
Thick-necked cop.
You got it? It's the neck strategy of authority. You'll never be taken seriously with a thin neck. Got to build up your neck.
So everyone...
I can sell neck injections. I'm selling neck injections.
Raise the shoulders up, so you can't tell the width of the neck. You raise your shoulders up like this.
Yes,
can't
exactly.
See it. The listener can't see it, but I'm raising
when
my
talking
shoulders
to people.
up. Yeah, raise your shoulders.
Raise them. Raise your shoulders. Improve your body language. Yes. They'll never get the size of your neck. You could have any neck.
Yes, my neck is very thick, sir.
My neck is gigantic.
You cannot see. I have to wear very wide bow ties.
Extremely wide bow ties. I have to go to a custom bow tie maker.
Your neck is so thin that you probably wear one of those little noodle bow ties as a bow tie.
Bro, my neck is so big, I gotta have a whole trawling line. I gotta have, like, a gigantic Japanese fishing boat's worth of rope in order to get around this big caboose of a neck.
Japan.
This big fucking round, cylindrical, veiny turd.
The land of the rising sun, they say. The land of the rising sun. They say that. They do. They do say that. They love me there in Japan.
Because of your big necks?
Yeah, because of my big, thick neck.
Your gigantic neck. They call you Neku-san. You go to Japan, and they're like, thank you, necks. There you go, full circle. Arigato.
Next. Sir.
Arigato, son. You got a big neck. Congratulations. You've beaten Shinzo Abe for Prime Minister of Japan.
Some vegan sushi later?
Vegan sushi? What's that?
I don't know.
I guess it's cucumber.
I guess
it's mostly
like
cucumber.
Sweet potato.
I don't know why I balked at it. I've had many vegan sushis before.
Well, I think it should be illegal.
Why are you eating vegan sushi opposed to fish sushi?
I'm not.
You're not? You just made that up for a bit? It's not going anywhere?
It's just a bit. It's just for the bits.
It's just a bit.
Just because we don't have anything else to talk about.
We have plenty of stuff to talk about. Fucking Kenosha murder boys everywhere.
Murder
clipping
boys.
people off. Murder bars. Get out your murder bars in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Boogaloo boys, trained by his mom, Wendy. Kyle Rittenhouse, he's a chubby little lad. Who does he look like? He looks like AJ Soprano or some shit.
The thing about the Kyle Rittenhouse that so pissed me off was the leftists being like, and it's illegal for a 17-year-old to have a gun. That's the real... I'm like, he murdered 2 people. It's like, and what's really the worst thing? It's the hypocrisy. Okay. Yeah, the fact that he was 17 with a gun is what we should be focusing on.
I think the victims are all interesting cases because they're all white and they all are strange in some way. I mean, it's very sad. Their deaths are tragic and it should have never happened. But you see videos of one guy, Jonathan Rosenbaum, apparently is his name. I hope I have that right. I'm sorry if I'm not paying respect, but he's shouting at the militia group of which Rittenhouse was a member. He's saying, "Shoot me," N-word, "shoot me." And I don't know nothing about this guy. I'd like to think he's like one of those guys. Yeah, he was using the N-word,
Yikes.
but it was
none of them are black. None of them are black. Then.
None were black, but although this Rosenbaum fellow was shouting it in the presence of numerous black people that appeared to be his friends, which makes me think he's one of those guys that just grew up all of his life around black people and genuinely doesn't know he's not black.
In Kenosha, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Okay. Kenosha's a surprisingly black town. Yeah, you underestimate.
Well...
Because it's Wisconsin.
I don't know.
Milwaukee is a very black town. People think Milwaukee is all people like this, but no, it's very African American.
Let's look it up.
Look it up. Look 'em those stats. I'm estimating a 33% African American population in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Okay, let's take a look here at the census.gov.
Mm-hmm. Census, baby. It's definitely higher than the national average, which I believe is still 15%.
Incorrect, sir. It is 11.
What is it?
11% black.
That's not a lot, or that's at least in keeping with the national average. But still, it's a large enough town for the police to fuck with enough people.
Well, Kenosha is it's in between Milwaukee and Chicago in this there's kind of just like suburban sprawl in between Milwaukee and Chicago for miles. So it's kind of just like post-industrial suburban sprawl the whole way down. So my thinking is there's not a lot of opportunities there at all. It's people are, there's a lot. It's just going to be some civil strife all over without some more stimulus. The protests died down when we got money in the people's hands. And so just got to get that money into people's hands. Mm-hmm. Give them money.
Just throw money at it. It's a capital. We live in a capitalist system where the solution for everything is just throw money at it. So why can't we throw money at this?
I think we could. I don't see why not.
I mean, we could. I mean, we can. I mean, we all know the answer to why we can't throw money at this.
Because then they won't be
from a governmental level.
Because then people will not subject themselves to being wage slaves.
Yeah. But then it would also prove that protests work and people would do it a lot more.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, what can you do? I don't know. Within me is 2 men fighting. Within me is 2 men fighting. Is protesting good or is protesting bad?
You should really get that checked out. It's not normal to have 2 men inside you. I think you might have parasitic triplets.
No, there are 2 men, maybe 3 men inside me. There are 3 men inside me.
There are 3 men inside me.
One in my mouth, one in my... Oh, no, never mind. Hold on.
One in my belly button, one in my navel, so that we can do a helicopter type thing.
Oh, helicopter. Hell yeah.
It's more like a stone mill.
Imagine if you had a butthole that could spin around really fast.
The dream.
Yeah.
The dream. Well, that's why it was originally called Grindr, because they were selling butthole mods. That turned your asshole into a garbage disposal. But they since just pivoted to a gay anonymous sex dating.
Let's make a sequel.
It's not always anonymous.
Let's make a sequel to Teeth, but with gay men, and there's teeth in your butthole.
That's even worse, because at least the vagina dentata, at least the vagina looks like a mouth to some degree. Like, an asshole with teeth would look like a fucking lamprey or a fucking leech. I don't like it.
Anus dentatus?
Oh. Anus dentata.
Oh, no. No, it would have to be dentatus.
Right,
okay.
because of the Latin.
Do you know Latin? Jesus.
I'm not conjugating. I don't know my conjugation.
It's not conjugating. That's for verbs. Declining
Oh, my
it.
God.
Oh, my frick.
Anus dentatus. I'll shred your dick in my tooth ass.
We need to reinstitute ancient Latin and Greek at age of 10 in all schools. This is why
right.
society is crumbling, because nobody learns anything about grammar anymore. People just making up words left and right. Making up words.
You know how you know you're a fucking prep school fancy boy?
How?
When the joke you laugh at most in Life of Brian is the Roman guard correcting Brian.
Correcting the graffiti, yes.
Which I think is actually... I laugh at that joke so fucking much. I think it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because it draws upon all their...
Romani.
All these fancy boy prep school experiences they had, and all the pythons are oblivious. This Latin joke will be universal to the entire audience.
Well, in Holy Grail, I like the part where they come upon the two peasants who are saying, like, what authority do you have over me? We're a collective. You can't tell me what to do. We're a commune, and we decide things by consensus.
Yeah, the anarcho-syndicalist peasant. Yeah, it's very funny. And very, I'm totally down with what the peasant's saying, Well, look at me, I'm being oppressed. And, it's played for laughs in the movie, but it's, sort of gotten to that point.
But it is the overarchingly irrelevant, which is the part that makes it funny to me, because the king is like, no, you're not. By divine right, I am the king. And so he just doesn't accept the premise at all, which is, of course, what you have to do with peasants. You operate on a higher spiritual level.
They're wrong. If they weren't, they wouldn't be peasants.
Yeah, that's why we should, when we invent our new cult, part of the deal is that we use it, and the holy text is in a language that none of the members are allowed to learn.
See, I think that's the opposite. The cult. I've been thinking a lot about the cult that I want to start.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
And it's called New Vulgarity. And the idea is that, so I've had this brewing in my head for a while, is what is the failure of the left? And why is PC such a big wedge in sort of bringing together center-left people, undecided voters, and the left wing of the party? And to me, it is we can look for the answers in the travails of the 1960s weathermen, who were always trying to get, working-class union people on their side, but they were college-educated fancy boys who fundamentally couldn't relate to them.
Right.
And I think, we're seeing the same divide now, where I think, pundits like Michael Tracy take it too far by saying, we're always losing the middle. There was a elementary school play about Rosa Parks. We're losing the middle. The Red Scare people are on it, but I think a common move among... left people is we don't really have to do work with convincing people at all because people are generally decided. But no, I think there is a value in trying to engage working class people that would otherwise vote for the right wing on social issues, trying to re-engage them back into a sphere where they understand the power of collectivism. And so the way I aim to do that is with a cult called New Vulgarity, which is just about, it's a safe space to be rude, like 4chan, except no Nazi shit.
Well, I mean...
That's basically it.
It will have... isn't there already something called the New Vulgarians? Or
is there something called the New Vulgarians? If so, I agree with
I may
it.
be thinking of the New Bulgarians. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe you could be thinking of... But I do think that there needs to be safe spaces for vulgarity, if you will. As well as, safe spaces shouldn't just be about protecting people.
Yeah.
They should also be about, creating different forums for people to express themselves.
So this
And
is
some
a
people-
this is a thing already, sort of.
Okay.
But from a while ago.
Ah.
In March.
Well, look, I'm a copycat.
In March 1962, art historian and critic Max Kozlov published one of the first comprehensive reviews of the movement that would become known as pop art,
There you go.
provocatively titled "Pop Culture, Metaphysical Disgust, and the New Vulgarians." So it's not. I mean, I think you should read this article, and then it can be your founding hermeneutic text.
Maybe it will be my founding Herman Neuter text.
Herman Neuter.
I'm Herman, and well, something happened to me.
Oh no, Herman. What happened now?
Well, I'm what you call a nullo. I shouldn't make fun of nullos. I shouldn't make fun of anyone, but I do anyway,
Hey,
because I can't help
Always
it. Because
punch up, and people who have had their genitals removed are our lords, right?
You're right. They run us. They're all Ken dolls up there. All these. Emmanuel Macron, he's a Ken doll down there.
Oh, Herman, you mean to say you're all smooth down there now?
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump was a nullo.
He's completely
I wouldn't-
smooth.
Yeah. And he pees and shits out of a cloaca-like hole.
Yes. Very cool.
Yeah.
Trump
That is in the
2020.
front.
Trump
He shits out the front.
Trump 2020. He shits out the front.
Folks, I shit out the front. It's great. You can see your shit. You couldn't see your shit before. But now with my Trump cloaca, you can see all the shit you want.
Well,
Oh, man.
I mean, wasn't the dirtbag left supposed to sort of do that, what you're talking about with the vulgarity? But
Yeah, but the problem is it's like... I mean, the reason why my shit doesn't work is because, yeah, it was already experimented with the dirtbag left, and as soon as they got, any sort of foothold, it was like all about how you're hindering the movement because you hate black people and trans people by making mild jokes at their expense. Sometimes, not really.
well, I kind of.
I mean, I don't think... I've never even heard Chapo make a trans joke. They know to stay away from that territory entirely.
I haven't heard them be problematic at all ever because I got into them late, like after they got really popular, and for a while I liked them, but now I think they're like know-it-alls. Always,
Yeah.
they always know everything. And
Yeah,
they're
I mean, that's
so
sort of
right.
their bit,
They're
too.
so fucking
That's-
right about everything. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but that's their joke.
What
but
are they?
yeah,
like they
still
all
say
got
stuff
bachelor's
that-
degrees somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
wow, cool, dude.
Yeah, they're espers.
Cool, dude. They read a couple of summaries of some books on Wikipedia.
But even their mild, like you would recognize it as very mild jokes, like whatever can be interpreted as potentially offensive, is pretty mild, and people still come for them, and they say that they're depleting the
funny.
movement,
Yeah.
and they're. But I think it's because of a genuine frustration with attempting to. And that being said, I don't think Chapo has courted sort of like the mythical undecided voter or sort of like the white working class unionist. I think like if a West Virginia, if a coal miner in Pennsylvania heard Chapo, they'd probably fucking hate it. Mm-hmm. Maybe not so of the Trillbillies.
Well, the Trillbillies are. I mean, I don't know. They might be. The thing about the working class now is that there's no like uniform working class because the internet has stratified everything so much that it's not like you can uniformly appeal to the working class. There are subdivisions, and it used to be when there was more uniformity that you could appeal, but I think everyone has become so individualized and atomized and inside their own head that you have to sort of more holistically go about it than setting a plan of action that is like going to appeal to one segment of the population. That's not going to work anymore. It's really the Cambridge Analytica targeted ads model that you have to go with.
I think that what I'm referring to is the relatively narrow group of people that are still important. The people that would have 40 years ago been unionized, and that's the reason why they would vote left. People, because there's still, even though manufacturing was destroyed in America, there's still lots of those jobs out there. There's still machinists, there's still truck drivers, there's still, all of these service jobs that are very much threatened by the onset of global capitalism, where if we could appeal to them on a cultural level, as opposed to alienating them, as we so frequently do, and it involves more than Chapo. It involves not talking like Chapo. It involves talking more like Jeff Dunham. Or like an example of the crassness that you need in order to appeal to a mass amount of people, it's Glee is the perfect example. I fucking hate Glee. Glee fucking sucks. But did Glee do a fuck ton to, like, get a bunch of empty-headed Midwestern people on board with gay people? Absolutely. It's a crucial show in the development of mainstream gay acceptance, which is something that I begrudgingly admit, despite absolutely despising it. So, I think, dirtbag left, the problem with it is we still don't speak the language of the people that were alienated by globalism, like the kind you have in Michigan or any of the Rust Belt states. We're still not speaking their language.
Yeah, I don't know what their language is. I mean, I've been around some of them. Like when I was living in Germantown, New York, I lived above a very working class couple. And living in Germantown, 90 miles north of New York City. Neither of them had ever been to New York City. They were like, why would we go there? Sounds like
fucking city.
Sounds horrible. Sounds like a horrible place. They were from they were both originally from Connecticut and moved to Germantown. They probably the wife worked at the gas station and the husband was a tree cutter who trimmed trees by power lines, which is extremely dangerous.
Yes, that is a very... Oh, you should get paid a lot to do that.
He made pretty good money. I mean, I think it was like $50 an hour for that.
Okay.
Which is pretty good, but it's less than he would have been making if he had been in a union. And
yes.
at one point when I was working in upstate New York in a very small cable company, I brought up the fact that we could try to collectively bargain for higher wages, and my supervisor fucking screamed at me and was like, if you ever say that shit again, like, don't let me ever hear you say that shit again, basically. And I was like, wow, that is very fucked up. So, but how do you...
I mean, isn't that technically illegal to suppress?
Yes, it is. I made a note. I made notes of it. But anyway, back to the family I was living above. The main thing that guy would want to talk to me about was smoking weed and butt sex.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. What a cool dude.
That's what he was just like, not to be too graphic, but he was just like, man, I want to get it later tonight. I want to get up in that butt. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, okay.
See, yeah, even among nominally dirtbag leftist people, their first response to me was like, ew, you're disgusting and sexist. And we have to be like, yeah, man, fuck that asshole. Fucking get up in that fucking anus dentatus, man. Man, you'd be making a lot more if you were unionized.
Yeah.
You got to pepper it in with the sexism.
I mean, you can't. We can't go. I don't know how you go back to unionization. It's like when the NBA players went on their Wildcat strike. Yeah, and then everyone started saying... That was cool. But then everyone was like, and then what we need next is a general strike. I was, what? How? How are we going to do that?
Yeah, you can't even organize... Eugene Debs couldn't organize a general strike, and there was an actual socialist party in America that did quite well. People forget that, like, Eugene Debs got, like, 10% of the vote back in the day. There was
another guy, I forget the name of the other guy... who is the socialist. He made a very funny joke because I'm trying to look it up. There's this other guy who is a socialist, and he was a socialist until he was a very old man. And always during the time, people would make jokes about how socialism was creeping in. And at one point, when he was very old giving a speech, he was like shuffling on stage very slowly, and it took him like 5 minutes to get up on stage. And those first words were like, "And that's creeping socialism."
That's pretty good.
Yes. Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah, but that would not be an example of something that would appeal to the weed and butt sex guy.
No.
You need to change the story. It's like, bro, so this guy, he's real fucking slow, alright? But he, like, makes the most out of it. He owns the room with his big dick slowness energy, okay?
The Democrats can never do this. They're not, I mean, they will never be able to do that. They'll never be able to appeal to that.
Yeah, well, because if you if you put all your chips on idpol, no matter how stupid, it's you're just always fighting the culture war. I mean, that's the thing, is it is all of a culture war because of basically a huge economic consensus with 75% of the population. You know, I think most people in America, they want, you know, maybe they want healthcare, but they still see neoliberal capitalism as the optimum thing. Mm-hmm. You know, you'll always hear people say, well, I think it's flawed, but I think it's the best thing we have. But, you know, to which I say, didn't we have a worse thing before? So why can't, you know, we make this thing now better?
Yeah.
I know. It just feels like such a defeatist attitude. I wish I was a doomer. It would be so much easier to be a doomer. I feel like you could just let go of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, you could be the opposite of a doomer.
Just like a hyper optimist, Krasenstein type.
I'm exploring that now. It's very funny because I've realized it's another way to troll. That's fun. That's even a little bit even more fun.
Optimistic trolling there's nothing more infuriating than an optimist.
To just be like, nothing bad is happening. You're all overreacting, and everything is fine. Everything is fine.
You're right. The Stevens Pinker Better Angels of Our Nature strategy, guys, don't worry. It's so all right, okay? We're doing better than we ever have been, okay?
Yes. We're
just
at the
gonna
best,
take a chill pill.
We're at the best point
too much news.
Ever. It's never been better than this.
Yeah.
And it's only going to get better. And just fucking relax, all right? It doesn't matter.
Rocket to happiness, you know, until we finally have a big universal orgasm.
The thing is, no matter who is elected ever, it's always going to work out fine.
You're right.
So, you know, just vote for whatever you want.
The arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice.
Yeah.
My penis is long, but it bends towards your asshole.
I'm going to put a slice of American cheese in my mail-in ballot. I'm going to just gum up the works. If it's the first one they get, you know.
Oh, man.
Damn it. Oh, I'm getting cheese everywhere.
That's...
Guys, getting everywhere.
It's domestic cheese terrorism.
Yeah, I'm the cheese bomber.
Yeah, you're right. You're the Kraft singles bomber.
Oh my God. If I could figure out a way to send mail bombs of cheese that were non-lethal and then just exploded cheese all over people, I would do it.
I mean, you could. We could divide. I still think you would probably get in trouble for that.
Yeah, to send cheese bombs.
What did they get Unabomber on? Didn't they get him through something weird like wire fraud or something like that?
Yeah, probably some stupid mail thing.
Yeah.
What happened to the post office crisis? That kind of went away when the hurricanes and the protesters started dying.
Yeah. Thank God for this increasingly rapid... That's the great thing about the very rapid, problematic news cycle is that you instantly forget the problems of yesterday and focus on the problems of today. Just notice and move on, like a late-night host.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think it's going to be fine. I think everything's going to be fine, and you can relax.
Everything's going to be fine.
I think you can relax
and
just stop paying attention.
Guys, what if this whole time the key was relaxation, you know? Wellness check, okay?
Take a chill pill, folks, and take a fucking maxo to the beach time. Go to the beach.
Man. There's a funny... So I recently got into this cartoon called She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Wow.
It's a Netflix cartoon, and it's very highly influenced by Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so it's an extremely well-written show, like, in terms of, like, technical writing. Like, these people are all clearly script structure nerds because it's, like, to a fault, everyone gets an arc, and like everything is structured really well. There's lots of good planting and payoff in the same way that Avatar was satisfying in that way. And the other thing which makes it noticeable is it's very explicitly queer. It's very explicitly gay. There's a lot of lesbian characters, like a lot of lesbian characters, and like trans characters referred to with they pronouns, you know. So it's sort of a big coup by not only being of a very high quality, but also very representational for queer people. So what had happened is the creator Noelle Stevenson did a podcast interview, and she just got ruined by the fans for stuff that, in my opinion, was fairly minor. Like one situation, one of the male staff writers was referring to a podcast which one of the other writers had, which had the word dyke in it, and apparently you're not allowed to say the D word. People kept referring to it. I didn't know that. I've been saying dyke around my lesbian friends forever. I did not know it was a slur.
You can only say it if you're more lesbian than whoever you're talking to.
You're right, you're right.
Come on.
This guy should have been lesied up. But yeah, that was one of it. And then the weirdest one, though, was like, they thought... So the show has like a couple black characters on it. The most prominent one is one called Bo, called so because he wields a bow, and he has like 14 brothers that are mentioned but never seen. And the joke was each one of them would be like rhyme with bow, so there'd be a surfer one called Woe. And then, eventually they got to one, and one's a farmer called So. Ha 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 ha.
Ooh,
and then people
offensive.
thought this was a reference to slavery.
Yeah. How is it not?
I don't know. But people got very mad about this. But then it just turned into a general, like, you probably should have had more black people on the writing staff. Which is, fair. That's a general fair complaint, I find.
Is it an American show?
It's an American show, but it's a show that specifically makes its bones on inclusivity, so, I think that's a fair criticism.
You can't include everyone. And
you can't, but you can try.
You
can absolutely try.
Someone's going to be
fail.
left out, So it's really, what you got to learn is how to deal with feelings of being left out, It hurts.
Exclusion. I mean, on like a personal level, not on a systemic level, not on like a big structural level, big structural Bailey level. But yeah, I think personally, like, just dealing with social exclusion is like something that people are incredibly bad at, me included. Like, if I feel like I've been denied entry into a clique or a group that I don't even want to be a part of, I get very emotional.
No Alex is allowed.
Exactly. And they're allowed one. He sucks. Hate that, Alex.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, I have a whole nother podcast that you're not allowed to be on. It's called...
Can I guess? Give me a guess spot.
No, it's called House of Upward Mobility. And House of...
it's your optimism podcast.
It's got my best friend Malix on it. And
not Malick, not Terrence Malick.
Terrence Malick. Did you see the latest Terrence Malick about the guy who wouldn't be a Nazi?
No, I didn't.
It's apparently just like 3 hours of still shots of mountains, and then a guy who's just like, and I won't be a Nazi. And then it's like slow shot of a mountain panning up for 3 hours, and then it's like,
I really like that concept. An hour of mountain, and just totally inexplicably edited in as just a guy just in single. There's no one behind him. There's no background. He says, "I will not be a Nazi."
I was thinking about watching it, but then with my dad, but then it was 3 hours, and I realized we should probably just watch Ford versus Ferrari, and we did, and he loved it because he was like, "Oh yeah, that Ford and Ferrari, and the cars go fast."
It's a good dad movie.
Hell
it's
yeah.
a good Sunday afternoon dad movie.
Hell yeah, it's very funny.
You ever watch The Great Escape with your dad?
Oh well, I grew up watching that, so yes, I made my parents buy that on DVD. I mean on VHS.
Interesting.
I love that. That was my favorite movie for a long time.
Great Escape is kick-ass. You have your super team of all nationalities working together to solve a problem.
Yeah, I used to know.
Charles Bronson gets away.
To know all the names of the tunnels, like Harry, Thomas, Dick, something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I remember. There's a lot of talent in it. Of course, the wonderful and handsome Steve McQueen.
Well, those darn Nazis. Those darn Nazis, you know what I'm saying?
Except there's one good Nazi, like the leader of the camp. Is Das Kamp. He is very. He gives like a half-hearted Ziegheil, and he's like, "Oh, you can tell he's the good Nazi," because they always had a good Nazi in those World War II movies. Like, a guy who they showed was like, maybe this is more morally complex than we're thinking.
And that was, I think, a psyop for Richard Galen. The leader of the West German secret police that was a former Nazi that the CIA installed to lead their secret police and root out the commies. Because only Nazis can root out commies.
Wasn't that Gladio?
No, Gladio was to keep people behind in Italy, I thought. Or I thought Gladio was Italy.
You're right, Gladio was Italy. But didn't it spread out to, like, it referred to a bunch of stay-behind assets that the American government had in Europe in order to combat encroaching communism.
Yeah, I think
and they did engage Fash Help.
Yeah, of course.
At some point,
they did. Yeah, and Operation Paperclip was that too. But there were I think there were different operational names for different countries. Operation Paperclip was where we got 1,000.
That's where we got all the Nazi scientists.
1,600 Nazi scientists to come to America.
That's a lot of Nazi scientists.
Yeah.
You know, if we have to be a fascist state, I wish we would have had as much faith in science as the Nazis had.
Okay, so my cult idea, I probably said this before, it is the conspiracy theory that I think is somewhat real, which is that before the late 40s, early 50s, America was good in general, and that everything we did before then was pretty good. Let's just ignore everything else that's bad. All that stuff was bad.
Let's ignore slavery.
Well, that was bad, but that was really long. That was a really long time ago. Really long time ago. But
you're saying that America was on. There was a period in time when you could have called America a good country,
right? From 1900 on, we were doing pretty good. We were doing great, and then there's a Nazi infiltration.
Boo.
And that's when shit started to get bad. That's when our government started to get out of control and bad because the Nazis infiltrated. And so it's a cult because obviously we did bad. We actually have been bad the whole time, sort of. But good. Bad and good. Good and bad. You know?
Bad and good. Need them together. Like a peace sign.
Well, maybe we can combine the Vulgarians with this, this revisionist history that we were infiltrated by Nazis. Because we were infiltrated by Nazis, but we were also bad before that, sort of, in some ways.
How about the Vulgar Wheats?
That's our new. It's the cult also has to be the new party, so maybe something a little more accessible than the Vulgar Wheats.
How about Captain Vulgar?
Captain Vulgarica.
Captain Vulgarica. Vulgarica is good.
Vulgarica.
I like Vulgarica.
Yeah.
It is the Vulgarica cult. It is for the common people. We are Vulgarica.
Oh, man.
Do you like titty jokes? It's Vulgarica. Do you like titty jokes and conspiracies about the Nazis? Vulgarica. There's not Vulgarica. A lot of titty jokes. Can you think of a titty joke at the top of your head? I think of more dick jokes than titty jokes.
I mean, I don't know. What is funny about titties?
I don't know. They squirt milk sometimes. Yes. People seem to desire them. They got veins. I think some of them are floppy.
The thing about the breasts is that it's just so associated with cancer, and I think that's when that's why that we have a generation of butt men, you know.
Yeah, because of the lovely lady lumps.
Yeah, the ladies have to deal with breast cancer, and so there was a uniform effort to make men more attracted to the rear ends, so that because it may happen that the breasts must be removed. So
you think there's a lot of guys at clubs now thinking about how Chadwick Boseman died, having like an ass shaken at them, and being like, Did you get yourself tested out? You get a colonoscopy, girl?
Yeah.
Here, I'm paying you these $10 for the colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Get yourself checked out.
It's more than $10. It's more than $10.
It got Chad.
But yeah, everyone should get colonoscopies starting at like fucking 30.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks that he died. That was crazy. It should make people scared. You can die younger than that of colon cancer.
Yeah, you could be the literal Chad. You could be the an inspiration to millions.
I do think it was a little annoying to me. I mean, it's a personal choice, but he should have told people.
I don't care. Why should he have told people?
Because the more people that know that you can prevent colon cancer, the better. And I guess what I would do if I was him would be, if I was in that position, would be to publicize that I had it and tell people to go get colonoscopies.
Yeah, Yul Brynner style.
Why didn't he tell anyone to, hey, everyone should do colon cancer screenings?
I have no idea about the man, but from what I would guess, according to Ryan Coogler's letter to him, which if you want to tear up at like a piece of mainstream media, see humans behind these gigantic pieces of mainstream media. If you're into that, celebrities, they're just like us shit, which I am into because I'm crass.
You're a Vulgarian.
Vulgarica. As we need to read People Magazine and BuzzFeed in Vulgarica. We need to read Guns and Ammo. We need to read all of it. If we are to, it is an omni-trash movement.
Yeah, let's bring back Epic Mealtime.
Exactly. I tried watching some of those. The concept wears thin after the first 3 years.
Yeah, after the first maybe 5 episodes.
Yeah, binging with Babish has more of a shelf life.
Yeah, he's also, I find him to be a little annoying.
Yeah, he's becoming a know-it-all.
Yeah,
he's also because he's rich now.
Now he's fucking rich and he's like decking it. He's buying all this new equipment.
Yeah, but I like it. He's living the dream. Andrew Ray. Gotta give it to him. Yeah, gotta give it to Babish.
I eat one thing only. I eat bagels and cream cheese, and that's it.
It's good for you. It's good for your colon. Cream cheese is good for the colon. It makes it all go smooth. It's like lubricant. It's natural lubricant cream cheese.
Well, what else happened in the news? That hurricane fizzled out. Everything's fine.
Yeah, Texas. Bunch of whiners.
Everything's fine.
No.
Yeah. Right? Everything's fine.
I'm marketing this new lube. It's called beach sand. You just put a bunch of beach sand in your asshole, and then you just grind on it.
Nice. How and the lube part is that it gets bloody? Is that the lube?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you're lucky.
Well, blood is notoriously not a good lubricant.
It is not.
It's been known for centuries. This has been known for centuries.
Don't worry, bro. We'll fuck it till we hit your walls. You'll bleed. Then it'll be smooth sailing.
Nice. Yeah.
It was not.
The pirates.
Smooth sailing.
The pirates found out about this. The pirates.
Okay, so what's in the news? Kenosha Murder Boy, RNC happened. Did you watch any of the stupid unhinged RNC? It wasn't even unhinged. It was boring.
It was
boring. It was bog standard shit.
Both political parties are boring to me.
Yeah.
It was boring.
Fucking Kimberly Guilfoyle on cocaine. They had a bunch of people from the New York Public Housing Authority were tricked into supporting Trump, which I thought was very funny and cynical. Because for some reason on the last night, it was a lot of attacks against de Blasio. Like, they had 5 individual speakers who are like, de Blasio sucks. Yeah. And it's like, he's not even running against you. But I feel like Trump's ultimate dream is to just win New York State.
Trump should try.
That's all he wants.
Trump should fucking run for mayor of New York.
He would be the greatest mayor of all.
Yes, he should. He would have been a much better mayor of New York than president of America.
Yeah,
he would.
Because the mayor of New York, it's a joke job anyway.
Well, you are in control of a fucking army.
Yeah,
Trump would have invaded New Jersey.
We're gonna take it back, folks. It's always belonged to us. And cheap real estate development. I know guys there.
My Trump impression has exaggerated to unrecognizable levels. I lament my lost innocence.
The lamentations of the Trump impression.
What else was bad about the RNC? They did it in front of the White House, which is pretty tacky, but pretty funny. So he was coming down on stage to Lee Greenwood's "And a Man Stand Up, but then my man," and you know that song.
Yes.
And I'm proud to be an American.
Well, at least I
God
know
bless
I'm
the
free.
USA. Yeah, he was.
At least I know. I'm proud to be an American because I know one thing. At least I know one thing, and that is that I am free. Free.
That's true.
Free to only know one thing, which is not freedom at all.
No.
Confined by
What if I
the
told
limitations of your own brain.
You're in the Matrix.
You're in the Trump tricks. You gotta get red pills out of it. Oh no, they've already taken that phrase. I like the idea that it's still very funny that the Matrix is kind of an explicit trans metaphor because they're literally taking HRT in order to they take hormone replacement pills, and they've actually commented on this. The Wachowskis have actually commented on this and say, yeah, it's all about being trans.
Because they're taking the pills represent the becoming another
Yeah,
gender?
the hormone replacement therapy.
So they think by taking hormone replacement therapy they're escaping reality in some way?
No, they're not escaping. They're seeing their true reality. They're becoming who they really are, as opposed to the world that has been given to them by the Matrix.
This is eliciting vocal fry.
The Matrix, the Dark Mother, who provides you, who assigns you male at birth.
It's making me vocal fry.
It's making me vocal
Does
fry.
the vocal fry exist in
Oh
the
my God.
Matrix?
Heard the podcast now. It's just two girls and talk about big dicks.
Oh my
You
God.
know, what's the biggest dick that you've ever
I
sucked?
saw the biggest dick yesterday.
Oh my God. Describe it to me.
It was 4 inches long and 4 inches wide. It was the
Oh my
biggest
God.
dick I ever saw.
What a good hanger.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We just can't get enough big dicks here.
The dick was so big.
Do you like it with vein or without?
I like it without.
Without a vein, you want a smooth dick. You don't want a bumpy ride.
No, I don't. I like the.
No, you don't want a bumpy ride.
I always ride the side saddle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've heard of reversed cowgirl. Have you ever heard of side cowgirl?
This is that one Barstool Sports podcast where all the ladies do sexism on themselves.
Still haven't listened to it. Really want to check it out. Just I don't have the time.
Call her daddy.
Yeah, don't have the time.
Oh man, did you hear all of those Barstool Sports employees died in a fire? Now I call that a Barstool smoke show.
Oh, what? Oh.
Boom.
Oh,
Boom.
no.
Roasted, Portnoy. Take that,
no.
Portnoy. Oh, yeah, the other crazy thing about the DNC is that Dana White from the UFC gave a gigantic speech about, what was it about? I think it was about COVID.
Was it about
he was
Fight
doing
Island?
COVID propaganda.
It's about Fight Island?
Fight Island? Wait, what is Fight Island? Please tell me there is a Fight
Hell
Island.
yeah, that's what he made for COVID, was Fight Island.
Fight Island?
You didn't
Just like Enter the
I
Dragon.
thought we talked about that on another pod.
We might have talked about. Please tell me about Fight Island. If I need my memory refreshed
Fight Island
about
was
Fight
his
Island.
solution to how he was going to do UFC during COVID. It was just to make an island where everyone lives and they do fights. UFC is crazy.
I like that idea.
Oh my god. What? So I
Yeah,
I didn't
such
even
big dicks
watch
that
the
UFC guys.
coverage of the RNC or the DNC.
Yeah, it's pointless. It was really boring. Everything that happened you could have guessed would happen. Nothing unexpected. Nothing funny like Clint Eastwood talking to an empty chair.
Ah, so good.
And yeah, it's weird how popular the alt-right is given how horribly uncharismatic a lot of its figureheads are. Like the only charismatic guy is Donald Trump, and even he's sort of phoning it in now because it seems like he's tired of this shit.
I don't think they got. I don't know. I don't know that much about the alt-right. I don't study it. I just sort of engage on Twitter with some of the lesser-known figures a little bit. But some of the time they're interesting. Most of the time they're not. You have to find the ones who are trying to be smart and then see what they're saying. But I don't know. The only guy that's like smart on the right is Michael Anton. if you want to find a scary, smart, really conservative guy, Michael Anton is the guy who's...
Because Andy No is dumb as a pile of bricks.
He's fucking dumb.
Tim Pool is dumb as a pile of bricks. And they're both horrifyingly uncharismatic.
And, Ian Miles Chong, fucking
dumb as a pile of bricks, ugly as sin, uncharismatic. Just what the fuck? Why do these people have so much of a following? I know why.
Twitter, and most of it's bots.
Yeah. Let's hope it's all bots.
It's all bots. Everything's fine. It's all bots.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. These people don't exist.
Don't worry. It's bots.
The bots just happen naturally. The bots are how you can tell you're winning.
Yeah, well,
Jim Gaffigan went off on Twitter. Jim Gaffigan was dropping some F-bombs about Trump.
Doing
some centrist F-bombs.
I angrily replied to one of his tweets, being like, "I thought you were a comedian. What? Why? What's the? Because Tim Dillon, has talked about this, which is like, oh, this is how you are a comedian nowadays. You're serious all the time, and you hint at a joke maybe one time. It's so annoying. Like what the fuck, Jim Gaffigan gets off doing political commentary. He should be making jokes about the sizes of food at fast food places.
I mean, he's even commented on it, but his line is, I read his big Facebook post about it, which was like, even I, Jim Gaffigan, who's been pigeonholed as a very, clean guy, even I can't take this shit anymore. That's his whole deal. And he also points out that he's done anti-Trump material on his last 3 specials. But I think, I don't really think political comedy is that funny.
No.
Like, it's only funny, the day after the news happens, and then it ages terribly.
It ages so badly.
Yeah.
That's why, you can, but I don't know, go back and listen to Come Town from 2017. It is still funny as shit, because they don't talk about politics.
Or when they do, when Adam Friedland brings up something serious, they're quick to call him, a fucking gay.
Well, he'll only bring it up when they're making fun of him the most. He'll try to bring something up. And they just ignore him. It's amazing.
Yeah. We are at Come Town. I believe the reason we started this podcast, or among one of the reasons, is those boys, they're inspirational. They said you can just talk about bullshit with your friends.
We're just a couple of cum boys, We're just a couple of cum boys,
We're all cum boys. See, that was the other thing that I had, because the other thing to name New Vulgarity or Vulgaricus is that
Vulgaricus now.
Vulgaricus is the title of the episode. That's the
Vulgaricus. It went from Vulgarica to Vulgaricus.
Oh, Vulgaricus? We're doing the Anus Dentatus.
Vulgaricus.
That Anus Dentatus is our Latin motto.
No. You know how so Michael Anton writes as Publius Decius Meus or whatever, like one of the Federalists.
Yeah,
we could be Vulgaricus Anus Dentatus.
There you go. That's us. That will be the title of the episode, Vulgaricus Anus Dentatus, and it will be a picture of a garbage disposal.
This is very meta, because we never talk about our process.
No.
But this is a behind-the-scenes scoop, folks. This is how we do it. We come up with the name and the topic after we're done with the episode. That's how.
Boom.
Yeah. That's how we do it.
Now you know how podcasts are created in our domes. Well, in our beautiful domes.
I gotta take a huge fucking dump.
Yes.
Out of my asshole with teeth.
Out of your anus Vulgaricus anus dentatus.
Yeah. So I hope nobody listening was offended. If you were, that's what the little E is for.
Yes. I think to sum up this episode, we're saying that it's okay to have some context where you're filthy on PC, and I think maybe we could potentially gain more supporters from the cultural war in it. That is my dumb thesis.
Nice.
Which has been posited before and is not original. But I sort of like it because it gives me a use to say slurs.
Hey, don't say slurs. The only slurs that I will use, I don't use slurs. I guess I do. I don't know. I try not to use slurs.
I don't really use racial slurs, but except for ones against Jewish people, because I can.
No.
Unless I'm with someone Jewier than me.
No, you cannot. My son, you cannot say this. No. No, if you do this, they will launch all the nuclear weapons at the entire world. They bring the temple down. It's the Samson plan, They will bring it down with the nuclear weapon.
Did I ever tell you my favorite joke that I ever wrote?
Oh, yeah, no.
Did you hear about the McDonald's at Auschwitz?
No.
Its motto was Arbeit macht Fries.
Huh.
I think that's funny.
I made my dad laugh last weekend because he was he was putting glue traps all around his house because he's got mice.
Right.
He's got mice. I was like, "Damn, Dad, you got Mauschwitz down there."
And Mauschwitz set him
Yeah,
off?
he started laughing really hard.
That's good. It's nice to make your dad laugh. Because, it's hard to relate to people from an older generation sometimes.
Well, yeah.
And so when you find common ground, it's precious.
Yeah, well, he hated the movie Dunkirk, the Christopher Nolan movie Dunkirk.
Why did he hate? I feel that was it a Christopher?
Yeah. The problem with Dunkirk is that it jumps around in the timeline. It's got 3 stories and it jumps around in the timeline, and it's confusing unnecessarily. But that's a topic for another pod. How much Christopher Nolan sucks.
Let's do a mini I hate Christopher Nolan hate fest right now just to end the episode.
Okay.
Because fuck Christopher Nolan. Fuck all of his movies, which are very, they have the airs and pretension of something that are far deeper than... Christopher Nolan is the absolute definition of fucking pretentious.
Yeah.
Where all of his images and writing gestures towards some sort of import, but is so poorly connected and is so poorly constructed and so just constantly samey and lacking, interesting choices in color palette or even editing, I would say, that his movies all just end up as a blur of gray. And I think the veneration of Christopher Nolan as a good filmmaker is perhaps the biggest coup of our cultural regime.
Well, I'm annoyed that Tenet is not about George Tenet, and it's just about some random other shit that he made up. I wanted a bio of the last great director of intelligence that we had before Bush switched it all around in 2005. Tenet was the Central Intelligence Director from, I think, 1996 to 2004, and he was the last one that oversaw everything before George Bush reorganized it and made it so that there was just a CIA director, and then the NSA had its own director, and then he split someone off, so there's a DNI, so there's a Director of National Intelligence that was new. I wanted to see all that shit. And instead, I go to look up, I can't wait, the Tenet biography movie's coming out. I can't wait. I go to IMDb, and I'm like, what? It's just Inception Part 2?
It's just another heist movie? Okay. It's just another psychedelic heist movie?
I don't even care.
But it's not even psychedelic, because they go out of their way to over-explain stuff, but it's so poorly explained that it seems mysterious and poetic. No! It's not mysterious and poetic, it's just bad writing.
I'm just gonna go watch a fan edit of Cloud Atlas and Speed Racer put together.
Speed Racer, that's a real problem in the gay community. A lot of speed racers.
That's the name of the movie, right? Yeah. I never saw Speed Racer. I want to watch it.
Speed Racer's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Speaking of the total opposite of Christopher Nolan, a movie that's sort of colorful, brilliant, brimming with life and creativity. The Wachowskis' Speed Racer might just actually be their best film. And I will stand for Speed Racer.
Matrix 1 is awesome. It's awesome, dude.
Matrix 1 is awesome, but
it's awesome, dude.
It's nice when they go full wacky. I really like it when they go full wacky because their wacky is so much different than other people's wacky.
Well, I do wanna...
Jupiter Ascending, which I still stand.
Oh, damn. I don't think I saw that one either.
That one's great. It's terrible. It's an awful movie. But the Wachowskis' wacky is so good and unique and so entertaining every time that I will keep coming back to their movies.
Yeah, well, Matrix 4.
Yeah, Sense8 was wacky. Similarly, had the wacky-chowski-ness to it. So let's hope...
The Wacky-Chowski sisters.
The Wacky-Chowski sisters. We'll end it there.
Okay.
We love the Wacky-Chowski sisters.
Yeah,
they're great.
Love them. Goodbye. See you next week.
Bye!